Today's video is all about reacting to some of the most bizarre and absurd health claims found here on YouTube. Roll the titles.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow this done for you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. As always, just a quick reminder as always that I'm now offering the SIBO organic acid stool test and consult via my website. So if you have any health or digestive problems, then consider taking these tests as they will provide a lot of very detailed information upon which you can start making informed decisions and then start getting your health back on track. And on that bombshell, to the video. So the first absurd health claim is from the medical medium, the man who converses with the spirit of compassion, and of course the spirit of compassion provides him with extraordinarily accurate health information that's far ahead of its time. And what is the medical medium synonymous with? Of course that magic celery juice, and this is what he has to say.
Celery juice is cleaning up the mess inside your body, and that's one of the things it does. It has a sodium cluster salt, an undiscovered sodium cluster salt.
Love that. Celery juice is so miraculous that it contains an undiscovered cluster salts. What a guy. Just a couple of issues with the medical medium's claims though. Number one, there is no such thing as a cluster salt anywhere in science. And number two, celery juice contains no magical properties to help detoxify the body. The vast majority of detoxification in the body occurs in the liver when it goes through stage 1 and 2 detoxification. Stage 1 is all about oxidation of toxins in order to break them down into less harmful metabolites. And stage 2 is all about the process of conjugation, which uses 6 pathways to take water-soluble stage 1 metabolites out of the body through the bile, urine and also your stools. Stage 1 and 2 detoxification require many raw materials from your diet such as sulfur, amino acids, vitamin B12, zinc, copper and manganese to name a few. Celery juice is not a miracle food, and even if you eat a cup of it, you are getting very little nutrition.
This is a subgroup of mineral salts. This mineral salt strips pathogens down, it damages them, it kills them, it destroys them, it kills off bugs behind your autoimmune condition. That's why people are getting better so fast and rapidly with celery juice. It's that powerful.
I've never heard so much drivel in the space of 30 seconds in all of my life. And you know what I'm more concerned with than what he is saying is the fact that so many people lap this guff up that he is actually spoon feeding them. 6 million years of human evolution, and we are at a stage where a spirit talking nutrition nutjob is selling millions of books. I actually worry about humans. In terms of his bizarre claims, the medical medium is getting a 10 out of 10 because nothing that he says is true other than the fact that he acknowledges that celery is actually a vegetable. The next absurd health claim is regarding cellulite, and it's from Dr. Axe. So cellulite affects around 80 to 90% of women and around 10% of men, and cellulite is the dimple-looking skin that commonly occurs in the thigh region. It forms when fatty tissue deep within the skin pushes up against connective tissue. In terms of how you get rid of cellulite, you have things like diet and exercise, liposuction, fat emulsification, laser fat removal, certain medications and so on. So what does Dr. Axe suggest?
Again, using essential oils like grapefruit, black pepper, ginger, and also even an essential oil like cypress, which really increases circulation in an area, can really help with you getting rid of cellulite.
So Dr. Axe suggests that essential oils help remove cellulite. So the funny thing about cellulite and fat is that it is removed from the body when you take in fewer calories than your body needs, generally speaking. Because of this calorie deficit, your body will turn to its fat reserves for energy, and the body must dispose of fat deposits through a complicated metabolic process. The byproducts of fat burning and fat metabolism leave the body as water through the skin when you sweat, via the kidneys when you urinate, and as carbon dioxide when you breathe out. Essential oils do little to assist this metabolic process.
Now let me give you my DIY recipe for my anti-cellulite cream. What you're going to do is you're going to get a glass container and you're going to add 1 cup of coconut oil, 30 drops of grapefruit oil, and that's really all you need. But if you really want to add a few other oils in, you can either add ginger or black pepper, one of the two, and then even something like a cypress oil because of its ability to increase circulation. But that's your own DIY cellulite cream, and you're going to basically rub that or massage it into the area of cellulite for a minimum of 2 minutes, but ideally for 5 minutes. Just put a little timer there on your phone and do that 1 time daily.
In terms of how absurd these health claims are, I'm also also going to give this a 10 out of 10 just for the audacity of peddling such nonsense. The next bizarre and absurd health claim is concerning food combining, and it's from Dr. Mona. Food combining is essentially an eating pattern in which a person will not eat certain foods together, as they believe our bodies can only digest one concentrated food at a time. And this is what Dr. Mona suggests.
I want you to picture your GI tract kind of like a conveyor belt or like train tracks. So if there's one thing in front, nothing else behind it can pass. So the order in which you eat your food, like let's say your food has all the different little cars or trains on it, really matters.
Wow, just wow. If there is one thing in front, nothing else can pass. That must be the scientific term. Again, I've never heard so much drivel. The order in which you eat food does not matter at all unless you have a digestive problem or an infection in the gut. But as always, the food is not the problem here, it's the issue in the gut.
So for example, if you eat something that's digested really slowly, let's say it takes hours to digest, and then right after it you eat something that's digested really quickly, this one's going to be taking its time through your GI tract, and this food is just going to like speed up. They're going to interact. They're going to just kind of cause chaos in your stomach. You're going to feel that bloatingness and those bubbles and that gas.
I am actually losing brain cells watching this.
And that popping, just all the bad stuff. And that's when you're going to feel really tired. Like that feeling can really drop your energy. So it's really important to eat food that digests the most quickly first, and then, follow it in order of what else takes, longer to digest.
If you have gas and bloating, it's because either you have problems with stomach acid, pancreatic enzymes, bile, you have low diversity of bacteria in the colon, or you have an infection in the gut such as small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. If you have digestive issues or you are having significant issues with fatigue after eating, then I would highly recommend fixing these issues at a root cause rather than worrying about eating fruit after a pasta dish. In terms of absurdity, there is zero evidence behind food combining, and Dr. Mona is right up there with the medical medium and Dr. Axe, and she is getting another 10 out of 10. Next up, this list was never not going to have juice fasting, and for this we have our resident juice faster, Vegetable Flip-Flop Police. Let the education begin.
How do you do it? How do you do it, watermelons? Day 12. Miracles. Frickin' levels. I've leveled up as a human being.
10 years of doing this nonsense says otherwise.
Farting still. That's fun. I don't mind. The filth that is coming out of me still. I can't believe it. When I did my first juice fast, I've done many 1 to 3 day ones, but when I did that 13-day one after finding John Rose, I was like, I'm doing that hero's journey. We're going for it. I was flushing out like crazy. Some nasties were coming, but I was like raw vegan back then. And by day 8, it felt like I was just pooing juice. Like nothing more was coming. But now we've been on a strange journey. Carnivore in Thailand, starch-based vegan, possibly worse than carnivore. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm done already with this drivel. As I said earlier, to detoxify, your liver will go through stage 1 and 2 detoxification. This is a nutrient-intensive, raw material-intensive process. Slurping down melon juice on its own for days on end is not going to support the detoxification process. Vegetable Police and Juice Cleansing is getting an absurdity rating of 10 out of 10 because 10 years later and he's still participating in this nonsense. Extended juice cleanses are not great for the gut or microbiome, period. My next favourite bizarre health claim is always surrounding gallbladder and liver cleanses, and this is what Dr. Phyllis Brooks claims.
Why this is so effective as a cleanser? Because the gallbladder, gallstones can come when your gallbladder isn't healthy. But what this does, it takes the oil and the lemon are two contradictory forces that are going on in the liver. One squeezes and the other pulls apart.
I call absolute BS on everything said there. There is no evidence anywhere that drinking lemon water and an oil together will cause the gallbladder to contract and release any gallstones.
So it's a little shock to the gallbladder, but it works like a champ. So here's what this looks like, and now I want to show you what the tea looks like and how I keep it. Okay, so once the tea is brewed, then it makes, as I said, it makes a lot. And sometimes I'll just keep it on the stove and keep dipping in there and warming it up. But I also will put it in big containers like this in the refrigerator because it will last 2 or 3 days. So here's what this would be like. It's better if it's warm, and this is better when it's finished. So
gallbladder, gallstones, common hepatic duct, sphincter of Oddi, which is just 3 mm in thickness. So if you are flushing a gallstone out of the gallbladder, and all common gallstones are around 5 to 10 mm in diameter, then you are never flushing these stones out without getting them stuck in the sphincter of Oddi. Now, Dr. Book's argument, and many others, would be, well, look at these stones that I flushed out of my body. Sorry people, these are not stones. Like I have said before, if anyone does a gallbladder flush, then put on some gloves and squeeze these so-called stones between your fingers. You will see very quickly that these mush between your fingers. True gallbladder and kidney stones, you wouldn't be able to do this because they are stones. So what are these stone-like structures that the flushing brigades are expelling from their bodies? So let's do a very quick chemistry 101 lesson. So if you combine an acid and an alkali, you get a salt. But when you substitute the acid for a fat and you combine a fat with an alkali, you get a reaction called saponification, and this is a reaction that is used to make soap. And this is a simple process that has been used to make soaps for hundreds and hundreds of years. So let's just recap. You do a gallbladder cleanse and you take the olive oil, which is a fat, and this travels through into the small intestines. This is then met with pancreatic secretions that have a pH of nearly 9, which are produced to break down the food, but also to neutralise the hydrochloric acid that has travelled into the small intestines from the stomach. If this neutralisation of stomach acid didn't occur very quickly, then the small intestines would suffer great damage. So just to recap on the chemistry 101, you glug down the oil, which is a fat, and then this is met with great amounts of alkalinity from the pancreas, and lo and behold, the gallstones that you are passing the next day are anything but. They are nothing more than balls of soap. So for that reason, Dr. Books is getting an absurdity score of 9 out of 10, and I'm boosting this to a 10 out of 10 for the stupidity factor. Anyhow, that's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, remember to look after your body because it's the only place you have to live. And I'll see you next time.